It's from deadlines from, I guess, earlier this week. Was that Monday? Yeah, Monday. Yep. This is from the 15th. Covered this on the site earlier today. Also provided Valiant Renegade and Andrew Esquire the legal mindsets analysis, some really good analysis from Andrew on this, where he will just kind of speculate here. He speculates that this whole thing is being done for a settlement, and it's clearly primed at this time because Disney is in so much poo-poo already with Florida, with their stock prices sucking, with them laying off people. They're just in dire straits right now. They just staved off basically a hostile takeover from Nelson Peltz on the trying to get a position on the board. So he speculates that this whole thing is done because of they want a settlement, and he actually thinks that they might get the settlement because there is some meat to the lawsuit, and if they do get past it initially being. If they do get it to where the judge doesn't initially toss it out, you go to discovery and summary judgment. And he thinks that Disney does not want to go to discovery because there's already kind of a narrative of them cooking the books already. They're accused of that. And I think they settled with the woman like 2 years, like last year, who's a former like accountant for the company. So you already have that in there. And, he thinks that they're going to probably settle when they get to discovery because they don't want to go to discovery. So let's get into this. This is really Bob Chapek has gone from Disney but not forgotten. A shareholder is suing the former CEO along with former executive Kareem Daniel, current CFO, Chief Financial Officer Christine McCarthy, and the company itself, alleging violations of securities law for misleading statements about DisneyPlus and the health of the streaming business. So it was filed May 12th by a labor union, Local 272 Labor Management Pension Fund, or I guess the pension fund of the labor union, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. And they are basically seeking a lead plaintiff for a class action lawsuit representing purchasers of Disney shares between December 10, 2020 and November 8, 2022. When the company dramatically missed earnings guidance and the stock took a major hit after an already bumpy year. Basically, if we scroll down here, the lawsuit alleges defendants throughout the class period, which is, again, that December 2020 to November 22 period, made false and or misleading statements and are failed to disclose that Disney Plus was suffering decelerating subscriber growth, losses and cost overruns. The true costs incurred in connection with Disney Plus had been concealed by Disney executives by debuting certain content intended for Disney Plus initially on Disney's legacy distribution channels and then making the shows available on Disney Plus thereafter to improperly shift costs out of the Disney Plus segment. So just to kind of explain that, in the lawsuit, they actually point to the Doogie Howser remake or whatever that, I don't know, like it was like Doogie Howser Hawaii or something like that, where they did a reboot of that. It was supposed to be a Disney Plus, and then they stuck it on like Freeform and some of their other channels over there. And the lawsuit alleges that they were doing that so basically they could shift the cost from Disney Plus for that show to like their linear like Freeform and etc. and the costs on them. And it was the Doogie Howser one and the Mysterious Benedict Society, which were probably two shows that also are part of Bob Iger's content that they created that did not
attracting new subscribers.
That not attract subscriber growth that he admitted in the most recent call. And I would also think that I'm surprised they didn't cite Andor here, because I know that was something that we did cover. They put Andor on FX, Hulu, I think on ABC too, after prime time. Like the first two episodes to try and get people to subscribe to Disney Plus through there. So they did show like a couple of the Andor shows.
Lucasfilm
was last year.
Lucasfilm may have a different contract in how they operate than what's listed here. That sometimes they do that with different franchises, where Lucasfilm has previous existing media contracts when Disney bought them. They may have to respect some of that.
I get what you're saying there, but that's kind of irrelevant because the way that the lawsuit is structured is how Disney under Chapek restructured the company. So you basically had the theme parks and then everything else. So so they basically were able to combine their linear offerings like Freeform, ABC, FXX, that movie channel, all the Disney owned channels that you can get through cable or through Hulu. And they combined that also, and like that was combined in with Disney Plus. So all of that stuff that was previously had line items under Disney Plus before they restructured was now able to be kind of finagled under different things. And the lawsuit is alleging that that's what they did. They moved Disney Plus costs onto like Freeform, FX, ABC, on like that on there instead of keeping it under Disney Plus. So they're able to basically hide Disney Plus costs through the restructuring. So people who bought stock, investors, were not fully aware of what Disney was actually doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. It just seems like Star Wars would have a different contract structure, and that's why it's not featured here. That's all. But that's just logic, not reality. That's all.
So it goes here. It says the true costs incurred in connection with Disney Plus have been concealed by Disney executives by debuting certain content intended for Disney Plus initially on Disney's legacy distribution channels. So that's what they're saying. They showed them on they showed like those 2 shows on FX, whatever, before they put it on Disney Plus, even though they were marketed and advertised as Disney Plus shows first. And so they're saying that they were able to move those costs. They go on to say Disney has made platform distribution decisions based not on consumer preference, consumer behavior, or the desire to maximize the size of the audience for the content as represented, but based on the desire to hide the full costs of building Disney Plus's content library. And Disney was not on track to achieve even the reduced 2024 Disney Plus paid global subscriber and profitability targets. Such targets were not achievable, and such estimates lacked a reasonable basis in fact. So they're basically saying that Disney was lying to people when they was lying to investors when they were giving their earnings calls about their Disney Plus targets, basically saying that the actual data did not actually support what they were.
Did they not think they were going to get caught?
So again, this is all alleged. We don't know if this is actually truth or not. We do know that that their subscriber numbers are going down, and they've been going down at least for the last half year from their earnings reports. They have admitted that, and they've also admitted that their Disney Plus costs are absolutely through the roof, and they were spending way too much on the content and on trying to create more and more content. And Bob Iger has admitted that as well. So there's lots of admissions. And again, this is why I think Andrew Esquire was saying in his analysis that that there is some meat to this, because we've seen it in the earnings reports. Like their subscriber numbers have been going down for the past 2 quarters, at least. I have to go back and look at Q3 last year. And beyond to see if it was still going up by then. But we know it's dropped 4 million this past quarter, and the previous quarter, I think it dropped even more. And I think one of the quarters in the past year, they had like 1.8 billion loss on Disney Plus. So Deadline says specifically the 39-page filing cites a November 8 earnings miss by Disney in its quarterly financial results, including a monument. Okay, there it is, 1.47 billion for streaming. Disney also reported a decline in its average revenue per Disney Plus subscriber. That has gone up, though. That went up. This most recent report, the average revenue has gone up. That's mainly because they're continuing to lose subscribers for the most part in India, which they don't bring a lot of revenue in from that. I think a lot of that is due to the loss of the rights to the Cricket League. And then they increased costs for people in North America. So you've seen the average revenue actually go up in the most recent report. Disney did respond. We had this. They told Deadline, "We are aware of the complaint and intend to defend vigorously against it in court." So this is interesting here. Attempted class action suits are filed frequently when share prices fall sharply, and often they don't advance. Specialized law firm brings the case on behalf of one or more stockholders, in this case seeking a large shareholder to join as lead plaintiff. and other holders to adhere to the suit as well. A judge must approve class action status. And I just to add to this, Andrew Esquire, Legal Mindset on YouTube, great analysis over on Valiant Renegades channel, which we covered earlier today. He says that the whole point of this is to get a settlement, and he thinks that they more than likely will, due to just Disney being in crisis and all the other like things that they've got going on, where they're just, I mean, they're literally just like shooting themselves. They're just like, I don't know, like they like think about like Doctor Strange when he astral projects, right, or he's like knocked out of his own self. Well, think of him taking a submachine gun and just shooting himself. That's basically what Disney has been doing to themselves. They're just shooting themselves, just riddling themselves full of bullet holes, and the bleeding isn't stopping anytime soon. And it's all self-inflicted because they continue to buy into all kinds of identity politics, transgender ideology, feminism, you name it, communism, as Volume Dealer is saying as well. They're fully bought in to numerous far left ideologies, and it is clearly just destroying the company every single day.
Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next product.
So that's pretty much what this lawsuit is. It's just kind of like the hits just keep coming. This is just the latest self-inflicted wound on them, where you have their own shareholders are suing them for lying to them. It would be great if this actually does go forward and we get to see some of that discovery. But I'll probably go with Andrew's analysis on this. He's more of the expert than I am when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I'm not a legal expert at all. I don't consider myself a financial expert either. But he makes a very convincing argument, and I think it makes sense that they would settle, given the fact that they settled the previous one, who with their former executive accountant that like basically accused them of cooking the books with their parks like gift cards, and how they were doing financial trickery over there is what she was accusing them of doing. And she settled with them. So I would not be surprised if they settle here as well, given that they just settled like last year with her. I can't remember her name right now. I'm blanking on it. I know we covered that. I think Spencer covered that.